Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here for my daily video. This is the Monday night version of Fireside Chat. And just before, I'll probably say this again at the end, but next Monday, which is the last Monday of the month, I will have this in the morning, not in the evening. So you'll catch my video in the morning. Okay, so we're going to do the old school block of the month. Usually I try to do it a little sooner, but this month we're doing it now. So it is the block from Carrie of Kid Giddy, and it's this super cute block with a pocket. It's going to make a pocket. So what I decided to do was, Yvonne, who is in the old school also, she did these calculations for using cutting directions instead of templates. So I'm going to tell you that, and it'll also be at my website, and the link is down below for that. And click subscribe while you're there. Then we can be friends all the time. So first I have to decide what fabric I want. And let's take a look, because my blocks are in these warm and cozy fabrics, and I don't have a lot of fabrics in this that are sort of feature fabrics. There's the florals and things like that. So just to show you them, because my socialite is on my design wall, so I can't put these on the design wall today. I'll do it another day after I take those down. I'll just walk you through what my blocks are looking like. So this will be block number 6, and then remember the one that came from Natalie had actually 2 blocks, so I can audition which one I want, and the other one can go in with my scraps. And then I also have the churn dashes. So I have a dark one, 2 dark ones now. Whoops, 2 dark ones, and 2 peach, and 1 with a white background. And these are going to be the cornerstones for the blocks, I decided. So they can be like all different ones. Those are the colors. So I feel like I can pretty much go with any kind of color combination on this. I'm not sort of stuck yet, because block number 6 means that I still have 6 more blocks for the year, and I can balance out if I'm looking like I need another peach background like this one, if I need something with more peach, or if I'm sort of need something with more black in it. But this time I can just do whatever I want. Let's take a look at how to audition this. The center is let me see, I have this here. So the center has a bigger square, and you could feature something. So I looked around, and I have this with, I've used these in one of the other blocks with the moss on it. Since you all told me these are moss, and now I will call them correctly. Oh, I just messed up my basket. And the block that makes the little foldy part. Now, if I were to use this pink, that is very wishy-washy, right? It just does not have any, it's just no contrast. I mean, why do all that work? You can't even see it. Whereas if I did something with this rust color, then that's like pops. So I could, frame out this piece. I could also use some of, I have blacks in here, so I could use blacks. But I'm going to go a different way, because I decided on something else. But I wanted to show you how you could look at it. I also had looked at these pink ones, thinking, well, I could do the background square, like inside of the pocket, in like this darker color, and then maybe take these pinks and make them the folding part, because it goes like this. This is not to size, but just to audition. So that would be kind of how the folding pocket would look. But I decided on something else, and let me show you that, because I am super excited about it. Okay, first I went with this print here. So I really haven't used this print yet, and I like it. It feels kind of Western to me. It's got a little paisley in here. And this fabric is from my friend Sharon Holland. I really, really like it. So I went also with not as reddish a one as I just showed you a second ago, but more of the terracotta color. And that's also in a lot of the fabrics. Now on the next layer, if you look at the pattern, so this is the center square here. I mean, yeah, so here's the center. and then there are 4 triangles that go around it. So those are the next colors to think about. And I definitely can audition this super easy. I'm working with a layer cake and then a few extra bigger pieces of fabric. So I do have a bunch of these 10-inch squares. So I can just audition what that looks like by laying it on top of the 10-inch square. You could fold your piece of fabric. And then I know I want to put this on the outer. So audition again. You just sort of put that there. You can kind of get a feel for what the block's going to look like. So I looked at this and I thought, this looks makes it a little muddy. It's a little muddy into here. It's nice contrast here. So what else could I do? So I went looking around, and I have this gold. And I had gotten a bigger piece of this, which is nice. So I put the gold here, and I thought, aha, there we go. This is great because it gives a really good definition against the center, which this black did not. It looks better in person, I have to tell you, this fabric does, than on camera and in photography. So sometimes that does happen, and if you love something in person, don't worry if it doesn't look as good in your phone. It's okay, you're going to look at it in person. But I really like this gold. This gold really pops, and I did it in this block here. So in those, and I did a little bit of gold already in here. All right, so that's what I'm going to go with. Now let me show you the number conversion, and I'm going to put those on my website too. So in case you don't want to cut, I use the templates that Carrie provided. I'll give you the numbers. So the background and these foldings are all 6.5. The next is 5 1/4 for the triangles out here, 2 5 1/4 squares, and you cut them in half, and 2 7-inch squares, and you cut them in half. So here I've already done the middle part. So these are 6-inch squares. They're all 6-inch squares. Whoop. And when I got ready to fold them, I wanted to audition how they would look. So I wanted to fold them to be sure that they were the way, the direction that I wanted fabric wise. If I folded them this way, then can you see like the little so I don't know, iCats kind of things those little designs go down. Well, I wanted them to go across. So I wanted to be sure I had to fold them both to be sure that I got everything going the right way. Whoops, okay, I'm upside down and backwards. Think, Pat, think, where does this go? It's in the corner, the other corner. There we go. Okay, so they're all going horizontal, which is what I wanted. And I'm going to just put some Wonder Clips on here to keep them in place how I want them, because I'm going to be sewing triangles right to this. From the gold, I need 5 1/4 inch triangles. So I will take my, whoops, let me get the correct square. Let me get the square out of here. All right, so I need 5 1/4. 5 1/4, which is not a number we, cut that often, but it's not that weird. So just be sure that, you want to have it accurate. 5 1/4. And this will be cut in half. So I want to do both of them and audition, like which direction am I going to cut? Because I can cut, one direction or the other direction, being that it's a stripe. It'll affect how the stripe looks. And that is important for the final. So if I wanted to cut there, so if I cut it this side, they're going to look like this. So here is, I'm going to hold it the same way and make the same, see the stripes are going the same directions. Can you see? Yeah, you can see the stripes. So they're going the same direction. So if I'm going to do the cuts, I want to do the cuts the same direction on both. And that would be, here we go. So you can just see a little audition of where we're going with this. So cutting these, my 6.5 inch ruler is never long enough to go across a 6.5-inch square, right? Do you do this? I know, you must do it if I do it. So I will start like this and eyeball it, like think I'm like, okay, I'm pretty close, cut a little bit, and then scooch it up. All right, is that the best thing to do? Maybe not, but it's real life, right? It's real life. We don't want to reach down and get that ruler that's just a little bit longer. It wouldn't take much for me to reach my arm right down there and get it. But instead, I'm going to just scooch it along. Okay, I'm going to go sew this up. You want to be sure that these triangles are really lined up well because they have to get in the seam. So be sure that this point is right up here, and then when you layer the other one over it, that it also reaches to the other side correctly and to this corner correctly, because then you will be taking this triangle that you've just cut and laying it on top, and I will pin this, match this point down to the middle of the block, so this point is to the middle of the block, and then now I will be ready to sew across here. Here we go. Whoops, there. So here's the middle part, and it's created this cute pocket on here. That would be so sweet to put on the back of a quilt. I am going to hand stitch this part down from here to here so that that part of the flap is stitched. Now we still need to put the outside triangles on it, but before we do that, I want to show you that I made a mock-up, because I just decided this was a technique I had not really done before, and I wanted to be sure all of these sizes worked out for me. So I made a mock-up out of some of Joanna Figueroa's fig tree fabric from a few years ago called Chantilly, and I know why I did this. When I took all the miscellaneous blocks and I put them up on my wall, was it Thursday? These are the same fabrics that will coordinate with those. So I put this on, knowing that it will go into that bag of blocks, and it will go into that quilt eventually. So it's a test block, and it won't go in this quilt at all. I made it in fabrics that I knew I had that I could add it to. So I have to cut the outer sizes, which is a 7-inch square. Then we'll cut into two of those, cut in half, so that I have 4 triangles put on the outside. Now a few of you might feel nervous using bias, because when we cut these, here, I'm just trying to get this big, I have a big piece of this fabric because I want to do a border with it. I hope I'm not screwing that part up, but it'll be fine, it'll be fine. So here we go. Here's the big yardage of this, okay? So I'm cutting a 7-inch square out of the corner for these half square triangles. Now if I wanted to eliminate any stretching, I would starch this in advance, not after I cut it. I would starch it before I cut it, but I'm not worried about that. This is 1 block. I'm just being delicate. I actually have the walking foot on my machine because I was doing something else and it's still on there, so I'm piecing with my walking foot, which is evenly feeding the fabrics in, and I feel that that gives me some good control. So here's my 7-inch spot. These Olfa rulers are nice because they have a really nice backing coating on it and they don't slide around. Oops, I didn't go all the way to the end there. So we've got a 7-inch square. Now I'm using a 12-inch square ruler so I can do that cut across here without that scooching motion. Yes, this is more accurate. And then our sides of our block will end up going on like this. Oh, there, I got too close to the edge. I didn't scoot up. Look at that. I've got the salvage on there. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it because it might just trim away. I think it's gonna be right on the edge. I thought I had pulled up far enough, but this is a fairly wide salvage on the art gallery. See how wide that is? And I was on the non-salvage side when I was cutting, so I didn't pull my ruler back far enough. But I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be end up in the seam allowance. I'm going to chance it, but I'm going to put it on last. So if I need to take it off, it's not a big deal. It'll be the last one I put on. Okay, let's do it. Okay, this salvage that got in here by accident is not going to work, because once I put this in the seam allowance, this is going to come down, and I think it's going to be just way too close. So I'm going to cut another square and use that. Woohoo! Here we go, got my block, but it needs trimmed. So let's take a look at doing that. We want to get it to 12.5 by 12.5, and it needs just a little haircut, just a tiny bit, not a whole lot. So I've got my 12.5-inch ruler here, and I'm lining it up, and I'll just go along then, and there's just a little bit of edging here, the little dog ears over there, and then I will do this side, got just a little bit more, and then over here, go this way. And I've just got these little shavings like this. They were just tiny little bits, because they're just a little bit oversized depending on how your sewing is. So I will get rid of those so that it's the correct size. And our block is done. I like it, I like it, I like it. Now Carrie's pattern also has where you could do 4 smaller ones of these to make one block. And those look really cute too. I really like those as well. Plus I made my little churn dash, and I went with the dark background. So next month in July, I will get them all up on the wall. I might do it prior to that, but I want to see what the colors are for this, because I'm actually going to probably make more of these. I'll probably do them in the inside and then maybe all the way around the outside. I might do the churn dashes. So we'll see how they look and how they come along. Okay, so a few other things that I have been working on, because it is wreath day. I have made progress on my wreath. Here we go. I have it basted, and I pin basted it because it's pretty small, so I just did it right here on the back table of the back of my koala table. And so I did pin basted it, and I'm using the wave stitch, and see the middle, how that turned out. I have a little short clip of doing that, so let's watch it. I'm using the wave stitch, and I started here, and I went fairly close to the edge all the way around. And when I came back, instead of coming right to the point, what I did is just started going out towards the middle, so that I was spaced, what is this, maybe a 1/2 inch. And then I just kept doing that. As I would get closer to where the start point was again, I would just veer in towards the middle. So it's not a hard line. It makes a spiral, just like you're going to draw a spiral like this, except that I'm drawing it with the curve. Now I'm out here on the outer edge. So let me just do a little bit. So I'm still on the wave stitch, or the serpentine stitch, however you want to call it on your machine. I like the wave. I'm doing this one-handed. So come around, and I would just keep rotating this sandwich with the needle down. Every time I want to move the fabric, I want needle down. And I would just come around until I get to a tight enough point in the middle that I feel like, oh, it's time to end it off. I would go a little bit more. When I end it off, I'm just going to do, a couple of locking stitches in place. Go round, round, round. I'm going to come over just a little bit more. One more stitch. Okay. So I'm going to hit the button on here on my baby lock. This is the locking stitch. And then it's done. I'm going to trim the threads, which will pull the ends to the back. And now here is the center. So you can see that nice spiral, and it really looks like a flower in the middle. It's so pretty. From there, I've already done the wave stitch, just sort of following around in the blue. The red bow, I'm going to go across, or I might follow it around. I will go along the red line, side to side, and then the navy side to side. So I am almost done with this. I call that almost done. Plus, here's the backing. I went through my fabric and I found this piece which was big enough. It's a navy, a little dustier navy, but it has little flowers on it, and I thought that really went nicely with the front. Plus, let's take a look at this. What did I find for binding? What do you think? Tick tock, tick tock. Yes. stripes, stripe. Super excited about the stripe for the binding. There we go. Oops. I think that is going to look fabulous. Here it is, stripe from my stash and not from the binding bin. There was no navy stripe in the binding bin, so no bonus for me, but I did have it in my fabric. So I am ready to go on that one, which I'm excited about being ready to go on that one. You know, you always have that project that it's so small, I could just do it all in one sitting practically, but instead I've been dragging it out. So I really want to get it done this week and put it on my front door. I also am what I consider pretty much caught up on this project. So it's the 21st. So the 21st, I'm pretty much up on this for the month of June, which means I want to work on the sail away next so that I can get that one, get the sail away ready to, you know, another section of it done. So I'll spend the rest of the month working on that one. Here it is. I had it close by in the rolling assistant there. So here's the sail away. So I want to just finish up this one thread of white that I have, which is almost done. And then I'm going to come up to the top and just work my way down. Do this. I'll probably do some more of the chain along the side. I think that would be a good goal to get that done. Get the chain done. And the last thing I have to show you that the sampler we did from the Jolly Bar book 3. I did, you know, remember they did the sampler, the sew along, there was a big long, like a bed runner, and then I did this with the Halloween kitty fabric. So do I have, yes, here it is. So it came back from visiting Kimberly Jolly and being on her live stream, and I decided it needed to have the polka dots on the outer border. So I did this, I got it done, and I have a backing cut. So this can go to the spa, and I am got to get it out there. It's way nice and early for the holiday. I won't have any trouble at all getting this one done. So she says, okay. Demented laughter coming from Pat. Now I have up on my design wall the socialites, and I will pop a picture. Just look at a picture here of the socialites. This, you know, so I have the blocks and I rearranged them so that I have all the blue blocks going in the corner and the middle is non-blue blocks. I'm kind of liking this. If you go to my website today, I will have pictures of both, with the blue corners and without the blue corners. So you can write to me there and tell me what you think of it, which way you like it, and where it's going. Okay, my friends. I think that's a wrap for Monday. Good progress. I can't wait to put the old school blocks up on the wall so I can take a look at them. And if you've not made this block with the darling little pocket, I think you should give it a try. It's really simple, really simple. The sizes are at my website. I love you. Mwah. See you online.